Let's build another gaming PC. So this is definitely going to be a pretty beefy system. For the motherboard, I went with the MSI Z170A Gaming Pro Carbon. This board features RGB lighting, really great I/O, and awesome VRM cooling. This is a board for 6th and 7th gen Intel CPUs, so I went with the beefiest 6th gen CPU you can get, which is the Intel Core i7-6700K. Now, this is definitely an older CPU, but still offers a lot of performance with its 4 cores and 8 threads, even by today's standards. For cooling the CPU, I am going with a Deepcool Captain 240X RGB 240mm radiator. This thing is really well performing, it looks really good, and it has Deepcool's anti-leak technology, which is really awesome. And for RAM for this whole thing, I went with 32 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro at 3000 megahertz. We got 4 sticks here, so definitely going to get a lot of performance out of that, and it's really good looking RAM as well. For the graphics card, sticking with the MSI theme of the motherboard, I went with the MSI Twin-Frozr RTX 3060 Ti. This is a really solid card, one of the best versions of the 3060 Ti in my opinion. The Twin-Frozr coolers are just insane at cooling performance, and they have the 0 decibel mode, or 0 Frozr mode, which turns the fans completely off when not in use, which is a really cool feature. This card also does have RGB lighting and a really nice aluminum backplate, and overall it just looks really good. For the power supply, I went with an EVGA 700 watt 80 plus bronze semi-modular power supply. Again, EVGA power supplies are just super reliable and really good in terms of performance. For the case that all of this is going into, I went with the Phanteks Eclipse G360A. This is a really nice case, really premium build quality, and has lots of space to work in, and is just a great case to build a nice beefy PC in. So with that out of the way, let's get into the build. couple of things before we get into the performance testing. First of all, the PC looks amazing. It turned out really nice. I did have to flip the radiator over just because the hoses weren't quite long enough to reach over the graphics card to the CPU, which that's fine. The annoying thing is that this motherboard doesn't actually have any RGB connectors, so I had to hook up the RGB to the buttons on the front, and then you have to control the motherboard and RAM RGB separately through the MSI Mystic Light software. So that's really unfortunate, but because it doesn't have any RGB headers, the Deepcool CPU cooler has a 4-pin RGB header, and everything else, like the fans and the case, are all 3-pin, so there's actually no way to hook up the RGB on the water block itself. So we are in one of my favorite games, Forza Horizon 5. We are playing at 1920 by 1080, and we have got the graphics absolutely cranked as high as they can go, and we are getting anywhere from mid 70s to low 80s. It dropped down to 60 there. But again, we're playing max graphics with ray tracing, and the game looks absolutely incredible. The ray tracing looks phenomenal. I mean, all the reflections just look so good, and we are getting really, really good performance. The 3060 Ti, I feel like, is one of the best graphics cards you can get for not terribly much money. They go for around $300, I believe, on average, and they offer a lot of performance. Plus, if you overclock these cards, which they overclock really well, you can get about 3070 performance out of them, and they're just really, really solid cards. And they run super cool as well. The fans haven't even hardly ramped up yet, and the whole computer is really quiet. I can't even hear the thing. We're now getting into the 80s to 90s as terms of FPS, so honestly, really impressive performance here. So guys, in my opinion, this PC build turned out absolutely amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed this build. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.